What's up? This your man Step. I wasn't expecting to make this video, man, but I just real deal wanted to, share my thoughts on Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. You know what I'm saying? They supposed to be remaking it. I don't know when they remaking it. I don't know when they coming out with it. You know, a lot of people speculating that, they gonna show like some trailer or some demo gameplay, whatever the fuck, on E3 and shit like that, which is coming up real soon, like in a week or some shit like that. I don't know, it sounds exciting, you know what I'm saying? Like I played Resident Evil 3, you know what I'm saying? I played the old version on my channel, you know what I'm saying? I was supposed to put up the last part of it, but I recorded that shit at the time and the shit fucked up and all that, so for the most part I got most of the game on my channel. So if you want to watch that, check the link. But it was a good experience, you know what I'm saying? I say it's not my favorite Resident Evil game, but it is top 3, if not top 3, top 4, you know what I'm saying? But I'm excited to see what they're going to do with the, remake, you know what I'm saying? Because from what I understand, and I don't really know much about, game engines and specs and all that shit, but from what I understand, they're going to use the same engine that they use on Resident Evil 2, the same, software, all that. They're using everything that they use with Resident Evil 2 with 3, so it's easier for them to make the game, so they ain't gotta go in and just make it from scratch. Now mind you, most likely they gonna make certain things from scratch. They probably gonna update the engine just a tad bit just to make it look more, fluid and flashy and shit like that, which ain't really no big deal. I don't really mind that, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, at this point, I'd rather them take their time with it. A lot of people expecting them to come out with like some new game footage of it, and I'm like, Resident Evil 2 Remake just came out a few months ago, so why y'all expecting like new shit on, like new info on the third game? I mean, look, they could have been working on the third game at the same time as working on the second game, so it's possible we might see some footage, but I doubt it. I personally doubt that they gonna show us some shit on the third game at E3, just saying. And if they do, cool, that's just more fun for me, you know what I'm saying? Something that I really wanted to talk about was Nemesis and the way he gonna operate in the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking to myself, if you done played Resident Evil 3, the old version, Nemesis was a bitch. Very persistent, you know what I'm saying? Most of the time, if you wasn't running away or, you decided to fight his ass, you would notice that you die, you know what I'm saying? And if you didn't die, you got your ass hit a couple times, maybe 3 times and shit like that. But for the most part, dude didn't really stop chasing you. Sometimes it'll get to a point where he'll chase you in a whole nother room and bust through the wall or some shit or the door. How they expecting to go by doing that in a whole new remake, you know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be 3D, you know what I'm saying? And if it's gonna be third person, that's gonna be pretty fucking hard. Because when I think of Nemesis, I think of like Resident Evil, Operation Raccoon City, which was a decent game, you know what I'm saying? It was fun, but that you could kind of get an idea of what Nemesis is gonna be like, if they gonna make it third person and shit like that, and they gonna make him fast as fuck. Because when you fight Mr. X in that game, Operation Raccoon City, he fast, you know what I'm saying? He ain't like in, Resident Evil 2 Remake. He was fast as shit. He'd charge at you and shit like that. It was a pretty hectic situation, except in that game, you could roll and get out the way and dodge and shit. In Resident Evil 3, I'm a doubt that they gonna let you, roll and shit like that playing as Claire, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it'd be cool if they let us roll, because in the old game, you could, like, kind of sway out the way, dodge a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But how are they gonna make it so that everything just lay flush and everything fluid, and we can dodge Nemesis and shit like that? Cause dude gonna be fast as fuck. That's just facts. And the way they running on that engine and shit, the way they working on it, most likely he gonna be running through walls. Like, on that one part in Resident Evil 2 Remake with Mr. X, where we was in the garage and he bust through that wall and he grabbed Leon and shit before Ada crashed the van into him. You could kind of get an idea on what Nemesis is gonna be able to do in the game, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, like, it ain't gonna be happening like in cutscenes. The shit gonna be happening in real time, and I'm just speculating. I don't really know what they planning on doing, but my thing is, like, I would rather them take their time before they come out with some gameplay footage. I'd rather them take their time with trying to rush that game, because even though they it's a possibility they could be running it on the same engine as 2. You know what I'm saying? And, they ain't really got to worry about adding too much shit in it. You know what I'm saying? Because pretty much everything is a placeholder for that game. You know what I'm saying? Everything is just stock for Resident Evil 3. But my thing is, like, if Nemesis is gonna be as dangerous and, you know, as fast as he was in the original game, I don't think they need to be rushing to let this shit out right now, let alone like gameplay footage or a demo or whatever the fuck. Cause a lot of people saying it's gonna come out next year, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? That's just enough time, depending on when they coming out next year. Hopefully it ain't in January like 2, and hopefully like it ain't, you know, too early and shit. I'd rather them come out during the summer or like, you know, around like autumn time or some shit like that around my birthday. I'm just saying. Nah, but all jokes aside, I'd rather them take their time with that game, you know what I'm saying, and not rush it, because you could fuck up on that whole Nemesis mechanic. Like, imagine us fighting them in the police, in the, you know, the police station area, you know what I'm saying, where you get a choice to run in the police department or you get a choice to, you know, fight them. He gonna be pretty fucking fast, you know what I'm saying? He gonna be fast, that's regardless, man. Nemesis was fast as shit in the first game. You know, even playing as Carlos at one point. No, I don't think you came across him playing as Carlos. It's just gonna be something to think about, you know what I'm saying? Imagine like a, you know, a 7-foot, probably 8-foot, you know, unstoppable machine running at you with a Gatling gun and a rocket launcher at full speed, swinging and trying to hit you and trying to grab at you and screaming stars and shit. It's like, that's some intense shit. And playing as a third person Claire, I don't really think it's gonna be as fluid as people think, and I hope that Capcom can come out of nowhere and surprise the hell out of me and other people with that whole situation, you know what I'm saying, and give us the option to roll, you know what I'm saying. They probably gonna have QTEs. They most likely gonna have some QTEs in that game. I wouldn't doubt it, especially considering, like I said, it's gonna be 3D and you gonna have that nigga charging at us and shit like that. And most likely dude gonna be running after us like Mr. X did in the remake of 2, you know what I'm saying. And if that's the case, then holy shit, we got an issue, cause that mean that nigga gonna be everywhere, and then we're gonna have to worry about other enemies and shit. So most likely they gonna give us knives, they gonna give us flashbangs and all that good shit, you know what I'm saying. But I don't want to say they gonna fuck it up, but I don't think it's gonna be to what people expect. Everybody just expecting Nemesis. Nobody really putting in the thought of like how he gonna operate, you know what I'm saying, because it's gonna be a whole different environment, different engine, different, you know, camera angle. It ain't gonna be tank controls, you know what I'm saying. It's gonna be a whole different ball game, you know. And then I'm worried about the scope, you know what I'm saying, because in the old Resident Evil 2 game, you could run around in the streets, you know what I'm saying, a little bit, just a little bit. I ain't talking about 3, I'm talking about 2. In 2, you could run around in the streets just a tad bit, you know what I'm saying? Most of it was in the damn police department, but it was sometimes where you could run in the streets and shit, you know what I'm saying? But in 3, you was mostly in the streets, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, how are they gonna do that? You know what I'm saying? Are they gonna, you know, make it to the, like, they gonna make it semi-open world like the third game was? Because the third game took place in a lot of different areas, you know, from the streets of Raccoon City to the damn, you know, like the warehouse where we found that fat dude and he trapped that girl or some shit, like, or he trapped himself in the truck or some shit like that. You know, it took place at like an umbrella base and shit. It took place in like a graveyard, sewers and shit like that. It took place in a lot of different areas, man. So it ain't just gonna be the Raccoon City, the police department. It's gonna be some whole other shit, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is like, how are they gonna do that? Cause the original game wasn't a very powerful game, but at the time, you know, the PS1 was powerful enough to where you could deal with all that shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, it was semi-open world. It wasn't relying on graphics like most games do nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Which is why certain games are so limited. You could take a Resident Evil 3 Remake and, you know, make it look better, you know, keep the same characters and, you know, story and shit, but as far as mechanics and level design, it's going to probably be a lot more narrow and straightforward than, you know, the original game. Original game, you could just go off somewhere and just check different rooms and shit. You know, in the more modern version, it's gonna be a bit more straightforward because they're gonna rely more on graphics and probably like, you know, Nemesis. It's just gonna be a whole different ball game. That's all I can really say, man. So I'm curious to see how they gonna, you know, go about doing certain things, man. I'm rooting for them. I mean, they knocked it out the park with 2. You know what I'm saying? With the remake of 2, that shit was bomb as fuck. I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, man, I really hope they get it right. I hope they take their time with it. I hope they don't give in to the damn pressure of the community, the gaming community, because motherfuckers be rushing. And that's where it fuck up, man. It's just the demand of the game. And they sit here and take the popularity demand and then they rush it. But I think Capcom might get it right. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to get it right. I just don't think people need to rush them and be expecting some shit so soon. Like, the second game just came out. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of people just got to give it some time to see what they're going to come out with. Now, if they come out with a trailer, cool. It ain't got to show too much, but it'll show, maybe it'll show Nemesis. Maybe it'll just be like a 30-second clip, 15-second clip, just showing what Nemesis might look like, and then it just fade to black, and then they show the release date or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? That'll be good with me. So y'all let me know what you think, man. Let me know what you think about the upcoming, you know, Resident Evil 3 game. I think it's gonna be bomb as fuck. I don't know shit about it. You know, ain't nothing out on it. You know, it's just like speculation and thoughts and shit. But I just wanted to share my thoughts with y'all, let y'all know what I feel is going on, man. I'm excited about it. I most definitely am gonna play it when I get the chance. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, check below if you want to watch my Resident Evil 3 original playthrough. You know what I'm saying? And thanks for watching.